Hey guys, this is Jake with P3. In this video I'm going to show you how to install the multi-gauge in your B8 or B8.5 Audi. So we can go ahead and get started. And this install is going to be the same for the B8 and 8.5. The only difference on the 8.5 is on the vent. Of the 8.5 you'll have a little bit of chrome trim on the top and bottom of the sliders, but the procedure is exactly the same. The other variants are that there could be a slightly different shaped trim here. It's very minute differences. It's going to be the exact same procedure no matter what. So just like always, first thing we want to do is go ahead and hook everything up. We want to test the functionality of the gauge before we install it, just to make sure everything's functioning all right. So go ahead and plug your OBD2 port, or your OBD2 harness into the connector on one side of the control box. Plug your display connector to the other side. And then we'll want to just plug this into the OBD2 port down here under the steering wheel. And it is down by this footwell light, just like that. And the gauge is also designed to come on and off with the engine, not the ignition. So we do need to start the vehicle to test this. And the gauge should come on within a second or two of starting the vehicle. Make sure that it responds correctly and that the buttons work. And we're good to go on this one. So we'll go ahead and disconnect the OBD2 connector down here. The only tool you should need to do this installation is just a trim pry tool, and sometimes you can get these off with your hands anyway. So first thing we want to do is go ahead and take this side panel off. Disengage these tabs. There should be 3 of them, I believe. Set that aside. So now we can work on getting this trim and vent out. You can start to lift. The trim sometimes comes off with the vent and sometimes they come off separately. So when you're pulling on it, you'll kind of get an idea if they're going to come off together or apart. It looks like this one's going to come off separately. So we can go ahead and pull that guy off. Set that up top. You will need this silver trim later, so you do want to make sure you save that. You'll also need this trim, so do not discard those. So now here's our vent assembly. I'm going to get that guy popped out, and sometimes it helps to roll it up, just to kind of disengage it from its clips, just like that. And then, so you want to roll up and then kind of move it down, and it unlocks it. And don't pull too hard because there is a wire on this. A harness for the lighted vent wheel. So disconnect that guy. Every once in a while on an S4 we get a different setup to where this does not disconnect. This is hardwired to this wheel. If that's the case, these wheels are interchangeable, so you can just take your wheel off and place it on the new vent that you get from us if you got your unit pre-installed. So here's our OEM vent. And here is our OEM vent with the display installed, and we actually do send it with this trim too, so you will not need that if you lost it or broke it. So now we can just go ahead and install this in place of the OEM vent. We'll want to feed our display cable through this opening right here, if you can see that, and out the side dash. So if you give it a little fold, you can kind of actually stiffen it up so you can extend across little gaps. And we'll just feed it right out the side, just like so. Let that hang down, and then make sure you plug this guy back in. Also, if you are setting up for auto dimming, the green wire on your OBD2 harness, this wire right here, if you tie that into the positive side of this harness, which is typically the gray and blue wire, that's a great place to tie into for your auto dimming. Just since you're already here and you don't have to like do additional work. So plug this guy in just like that, and then we want to install our outer trim before we put the vent back in. It's much easier to do it that way. So just clip this guy on, make sure it's clipped in all the way around, and then we're going to gently place that back in. We also want to make sure this wire, it is designed to fold around the back of the vent. And it's flat, so you're not going to hurt anything, but you want to make sure it's not twisted up. That's when you can run into problems. And then just pull that slack through as you put it in. just snap back into place. Just like so. That's good. Now we'll come around the side here. We want to fasten the 15-pin connector on this side. So, and for the sake of keeping this video somewhat short, I'm just going to tuck this wire, this harness up. You can fasten this wherever you'd like with zip ties real nice, but there is enough room to kind of just tuck it in here. And once again, you can run that green wire through here right up to that vent harness and plug that in for your auto dimming. It's probably the most convenient area to tie it in. Now we'll set this guy in here like so. I need to plug the display in. I'll just tuck all these wires in here for now, and you can route this or zip tie it aside however you'd like. I'm just going to tuck it in here temporarily now for the video, and then we can take our side trim, just kind of insert the back first, and then snap it back into place, just like so. Now we're good to restart again. Make sure the gauge is all good. Just make sure it's still functioning correctly. And you can peel your cover off. And that wraps up this install. We make these as easy as possible, but if you guys have any questions, please ask us below. Please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like our videos. Leave lots of comments for us. You can also check us out on Instagram at P3Gauges. And then be sure to check out our website too for all our latest product releases and any of your needs there. So that's p3gauges.com. Thanks, guys.